The psychology of why people instantly judge you. Have you ever walked into a room and felt like someone had already made up their mind about you before you even spoke? It happens more often than most people realize, and surprisingly, it usually has less to do with who you are than with how the human brain processes first impressions. Today, we'll break down why people judge so quickly and what you can actually do about it. Stay until the end because the final reason is the one almost everyone overlooks. It can quietly shape how people see you long before they get to know your personality. The truth is, nobody likes being judged, yet every one of us does it. I've noticed this countless times. You meet someone for the first time, exchange just a few words, and almost without realizing it, your brain starts building a story. Are they trustworthy, confident, friendly, arrogant? Those conclusions often form before there's enough evidence to support them. That's not because people are naturally unfair. It's because the human brain is designed to make quick decisions. Psychologists sometimes describe this as using mental shortcuts, patterns that help us make sense of new situations without analyzing every detail. The problem is that these shortcuts can be wrong. One of the biggest influences on first impressions is body language. Someone who walks into a room with steady posture, relaxed shoulders, and calm movements is often perceived differently from someone who appears tense or avoids eye contact. That doesn't mean one person is better than the other. It simply shows how much people rely on nonverbal cues when information is limited. Another factor is emotional expression. People naturally pay attention to facial expressions. A relaxed face often signals comfort and openness, while visible tension may be interpreted as stress or uncertainty, even when that's not what's actually happening. Context matters too. Imagine meeting someone during a busy, stressful day. They seem distracted and don't smile much. It's easy to label them as unfriendly, but on another day, in a different environment, your impression might be completely different. This is why first impressions are powerful, but they're not always accurate. There's another interesting pattern I've seen. People often assume confidence is loud. In reality, genuine confidence is usually much quieter. Someone who listens carefully, speaks with intention, and doesn't feel the need to dominate every conversation often leaves a stronger impression than someone trying hard to prove themselves. That doesn't happen because silence is magical. It happens because calm behavior is often interpreted as self-control. Of course, appearances aren't everything. Many people have experienced being completely wrong about someone after getting to know them. A person who seemed distant turned out to be thoughtful. Someone who appeared confident was actually deeply insecure. First impressions are simply the beginning of a story, not the entire story. There's also something called confirmation bias. Once people form an initial opinion, they tend to notice information that supports it, while overlooking details that challenge it. That's one reason changing someone's first impression can take time. The good news is that impressions aren't permanent. Small behaviors make a surprising difference. Looking at people when they speak, listening without interrupting, slowing your speech instead of rushing, showing genuine curiosity rather than trying to impress. These habits don't guarantee everyone will like you, nothing can do that, but they help people see a more accurate version of who you are. Another lesson I've learned is that trying too hard to control other people's opinions usually backfires. The more focused you become on being liked, the more pressure you place on yourself. Ironically, that pressure often makes you appear less natural. Instead, focus on consistency. People eventually notice when your actions match your words. Trust isn't built in a single conversation. It's built over repeated experiences. So if you've ever felt misunderstood after a first meeting, don't assume you failed. Sometimes you're seeing someone else's assumptions, not your own value. And remember this, the fastest judgments are often the least complete. Real understanding takes time. If you want to improve first impressions today, remember these 4 things. Stand with relaxed, open posture, listen more than you speak, slow your speech instead of rushing, let consistency, not performance, shape your reputation. What do you think? Have you ever been completely wrong about someone after your first impression? Or has someone judged you unfairly before getting to know you? Share your experience in the comments. I'd love to read your story. And if you enjoy exploring psychology and human behavior with a balanced, evidence-based approach, don't forget to subscribe. There's much more to uncover.